So, you want to pick a research topic but you don't know where to start? I was in that boat once. I'll show you how. Let's do it. You want to start off with picking a general topic that you like. The more specific, the better. But if you have absolutely no clue what you want to do, it's probably best that you start very general. Say you know you like economics, but have no idea which field within economics you want to explore. The first step would be to look up economics in the search bar of some databases, such as JSTOR, Galileo, and Google Scholar. There are others, but these are my go-tos. To log into JSTOR, you just go to this site right here, or just look up JSTOR in your Google browser, and then sign in with your credentials. Or, if you've never made a JSTOR account before, you can register for free and create the username and password. When you log into JSTOR, it'll allow you to look at journals and articles published for example, economics, that you can click. And when you sign up for JSTOR, you get 100 free articles to use, so you probably shouldn't have to worry about that running out and having to pay for anything. Google Scholar is probably the easiest of the bunch. You just type in Google Scholar into your search bar, then go over here, click Google Scholar. No membership or anything required. You just type in the subject that you want to look into, and then it'll bring up academic material on that. And Galileo is one that can be found through going through the Launchpad for ClassLink, signing in with your student information. And once you're here, you're going to look for MacNVIA, which gives you access to a lot of databases actually. Once you're here, you're going to go to databases. And as you can see, there's a lot here, like EBSCOhost, for example, which is a good one. But my personal favorite is Galileo. You just go open here, and it'll allow you to look at academic material through here because you're a student at Roswell. And you just put in your topic in this bar. Once you've searched up the topic that you want to investigate inside these databases, very briefly skim through the articles that come up and see if there's anything that interests you. If not, click on the academic journal that the paper is a part of and see what else they publish. For example, here you can see that this is published in the Journal of Developing Areas, spring 2024. And so you can just copy that journal name, Control-C, Control-V, and then click and see what they all got going on here. As you can see, there's a lot of volumes and a lot of different papers, and you can even search it for anything that you want. In Google Scholar, you wouldn't even have to cut and paste. You can just click on the journal name and it'll take you straight to it. Once you're at these journals, you can skim through these and see if there's anything interesting in there, and if you have any better luck than in the paper. If you're still stuck, ask ChatGPT what interesting things are going on in economics, and maybe look up economics on YouTube for some inspiration, because some cool videos get posted there, or see if there's anything popular on popular news sites on the topic. Once you've looked at these sources, you should be able to narrow to a slightly more specific topic. And once you've done this, repeat the process of looking up that more specific topic, for example, modern microeconomics specifically within the umbrella of economics, into the databases that I mentioned earlier. Again, skim through these sources, but a little bit more slowly, and keep your eyes peeled for areas of interest. If you can't find anything on your specific topic, you may need to go back to the general topic of economics and try from square one. This is frustrating, but with patience, this process will find you a good topic. Once you find some good sources on your specific topic, read through them thoroughly. When do this, read the abstract, then the introduction, then results, then the discussion. If these sections don't show promise for your specific topic, don't bother reading the rest. This will save you time. If a source mentions something of interest on a tangent, but cites another article and then moves along, look for the article that they cite in the references section of the paper and read that article and take a deeper look at it. This process is called branching, and this is perfectly allowed and will save you time from having to find a bunch of papers manually. In the thorough read-through process, it will take time to read a few sources, but the beauty of it is that these few sources are the only ones that you'll need. Now that you have your sources, it's time to try to develop a research question. See what these sources say is important. See if you're curious about something mentioned in the article that they do not cover further. See what the authors explicitly suggest for future research. Any of these factors alone, or any mix of these factors, are brewing grounds for a great research question. For example, say an article covers consumer behavior of people during the holidays as a subtopic to modern microeconomics, but you wonder how this behavior affects businesses. This would be a great topic for a research question. Now it's time to zero in further and start thinking of a method. It's not quite time to write a method yet, but having a loose idea of what you may do as a method and what your sample will be will guide the development of your research question. When you do this, you want to think about what it is that you want to measure in your research. Do you want to hear about the perspective of employees on the effects of consumer behavior during the holidays on business? If that's the case, an interview or survey approach may do well here. On the other hand, if you want to look at the financials, a content analysis of business quarterly reports during the holidays may suit you well. Each approach would be appropriate for a different research question, so it's important to have an idea of what you want to investigate. Another thing to note is that while it can be enticing to cover a large area and try to study a very large geographic region or population in your research, it's generally better to test a smaller population more in depth than a larger population where your conclusion may not be applicable due to a small sample size. For example, say that the research question that we were mentioning earlier, you were analyzing in just Metro Atlanta versus analyzing it across the entire country. If you only got 72 responses in both cases, your research would not be very impactful on the national level. However, if you got the same amount of responses for the Metro Atlanta area, you would have more applicable conclusions and overall just stronger research. So consider that when writing your research question and picking your sample. Another thing is that it is allowed in AP research if you want to create something, and this something that you're making is kind of based on previous literature involving creation. And in this case, your research question might look a little bit different than in most research, but this is a perfectly okay method to do. With that said, good luck. Finding a topic for the first time can be scary, so trust the process. Peace.